single coil RTAs. There's been a lot more of them coming out lately, and for lazy vapors like yours truly here, that's an absolutely fantastic thing to happen. What we're going to be taking a look at today is this, the Ammit 25 single coil RTA. I really like this tank. This tank at 45 watts gives this Aromomizer Supreme dual coil a run for its money. The flavor coming out of this tank is twice as thick, twice as flavorful as this Supreme. Don't get me wrong, I still like my Supreme, but this thing, oh my God, this is kick-ass. So, without any further ado, let's head on down to the build deck and take a look at how this thing really works and the best way I found for coiling and wicking it. All right, see you down below decks. Okay, folks, here we are down on the build deck, and we're taking a look today at the Ammit 25 RTA by Geek Vape. The one I have here is in the blue. It comes in a multitude of different colors. I put up a graphic at the beginning of the show showing the different colors that it came in. This is the front of the box. It comes in the plastic clamshell. This side, nothing. This side, just a holographic sticker to show authenticity. Nothing here. Likewise, a holographic sticker. Nothing on that side again. And on the back, you have a scratch and check authenticity hologram, which I highly suggest that you check to make sure that it is a true Geek Vape product. Then you have the serial number down here, and of course you have your SKU code. Okay, made in China, www.geekvape.com. All that good stuff. All the CE marks too. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we got in the package. We of course have the star of the show here, the Ammit, which I'm going to put over here on a little tank stand. And in here you also get the 6mm glass, which, as you saw on the graphic I put up earlier, is the option for this. It comes in here. You also have this option, which comes in here, which is a top cap for this that allows you to make use of goon style drip tips. This is not a goon style drip tip. This is a standard 510 drip tip, and it has a standard 510 adapter on here. But it is a relatively wide bore drip tip, and for those of you out there who like wide bore drip tips, this one might be a good compromise. But if you are a goon style drip tip aficionado and you have to use your goon style, then you would want to put this here on. In a minute I'll show you how to put that on. So I'm going to put that to one side, and we're going to take the top foam cover off, and in the bottom here we have a chimney extension, which I'll get to in a minute or two, but we're going to leave that out. You have the Geek Vape Ammit User's Manual, which comes in a variety of different languages: exploded view, setup view, customer service, telephone numbers and addresses, and also how to tell whether or not your anti-counterfeiting scratch and check is authentic or not. Okay, and then it goes into the French. Okay, so on the back here, you also have an extra set of grub screws in here. You have 4 extra grub screws, so 2 sets. You have your orange and turquoise colored tank seals, so you can put in whatever color you want. You can even leave it at the clear, which comes with naturally from the factory. Now, you also have your T-tool, the obligatory Geek Vape T-tool. However, this one is slightly different. This T-tool comes with flathead screwdriver ends on it here. Also has a Phillips head screwdriver here on the bottom. Okay, so this will tell you exactly the type of grub screws that you're going to be dealing with in here, which are flathead grub screws, and they work very nicely. So that's what comes in the package here. So we're just going to put all of this back together here, except for these two items here. And we're just going to put this out of the way for now, so that way we can turn around and take a look at the star of the show. So we're going to move that over there. As I said before, and I showed you before, this is a 510 drip tip. It's a wide bore drip tip. It tapers from the 510 size drip tip here, which is the bore of the chimney, and comes out to a larger size for those of you who like very large drip tips. Okay, so if you don't, you can also substitute it with a smaller drip tip. This is the kind that I actually particularly like. So when we start putting this thing together, this is the one I'm going to be using. All right, so I might as well just put it in here now. And yeah, it doesn't want to go in all the way. Kind of love dry and munged up O-rings, but yeah, all right. We'll deal with that a little later. All right, so let's take a look and see what else we got here. Down here on the bottom, we have a gold-plated, I believe it's copper, a 510 pin, which is fully adjustable. It sticks out quite a ways from that 510 connector, so this could be very easily used on a hybrid mechanical mod. Though why you would want to use it on a hybrid mechanical, I don't know, but you might want to. But it certainly could. This is sticking out way far enough to be able to do it. You have Ammit 25, CE, don't bin, serial number, and designed by Geek Vape. Now, down here on the bottom, you have fully adjustable airflow, all the way from fully open to fully closed. It is click stop. There are 4 click stops on this. The granularity on this is very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4 to fully open. And what happens on one side happens on the other side as well. This also has a juice flow control. As you can see here, that's the opening for your juice wells. And if you turn this, you can see the juice flow control will open and close. And when this is fully closed, you can still adjust that juice flow control without opening or disassembling, basically, this tank. If you remember my last video, which I did on the Coiler, one of my gripes with that tank was the fact that you had to practically, the tank would basically come apart on you, because the tank section here basically would close down completely, and in order to use the juice flow control, you had to turn juice flow and practically disassemble the tank. The tank would come away from the base. This here, you can turn around and turn that juice flow control with the glass and everything fully seated, so you never have to worry about any kind of leaking in here. Okay, this is the tank that I was referring to in the Coiler review that I liked the juice flow control on. Very muchly so. All right, so let me take this, and we're going to take the base off here. I'm going to put this to one side, and I'll show you that I'm hiding it, yes, because I want to talk to more about this. Now, in here, you have a rather flat-topped atomization chamber. This is the one little peeve I have about this tank. Though it really doesn't matter for this tank has absolutely phenomenal flavor, has absolutely phenomenal cloud production. I personally would like to have seen this top piece here, the top part of the atomization chamber, domed, similar to the way they did with the Coiler. But even though this is not domed, this actually works very well. Okay, so let's take a look at the top here. You fill this tank up, when it's all together, that is, by unscrewing this cap. You remember the one I showed you before in there for the 810 or goon style? That's how you would do it. You would just unscrew this, put the goon style on, and you'd be good to go with your goon style cap. Now, as you can see here, you also have 2 massive fill holes for your juice. This thing here is absolutely massive. It will take any damn thing you want to turn around and throw at it to fill it with. You name it, it'll take it. Even a ketchup bottle. Okay, you know, one of the squeeze ketchup bottles, this'll turn around and take it. It has very fine knurling here on the top, so that way you can get purchase on here to open and close this when you're disassembling this. And you would screw that off like so. Your glass is here, and that is the top of the bell housing or the atomization chamber. Now we're going to be reassembling this not with this 2 mil tank, but with the 6 mil tank. So 6 mil tank glass fits on here just like so. But before you do that, you want to take your chimney extension, and this part down here where the knurling is, you want to put this on here like so, and then make sure that this is tightened down good. Take my word for this. This has to be tightened down good. Okay? Then you would take the 6 mil glass, put the 6 mil glass on like so, and then put the top piece and fill ports for the tank into place, and screw this into place. And as you can see here, the silicone O-ring that's in here between the chimney extension and the top of the fill port, you want to screw this down until that's fully compressed. Now, I highly suggest that when you get to this point, you take a pair of needle nose pliers and you put it in here and very, very, very gently tighten this thing up until it gets to a point where those things don't move by themselves. Because there have been a couple of times when I turned around, I was putting this thing, I had this thing put together, basically finger tight. When I took this off to fill it, this came off. Okay, and it didn't come off from where the fill port cap goes into the chimney extension. It came from where the chimney extension goes onto the top of the atomization chamber. That's why you want to make sure that this thing is socked down tight. So that way, when you take this open and open it up to put in your juice, you don't wind up disassembling it. It only happened to me once, and I didn't even have a problem with it because it never actually flooded out on me because I had the juice flow control closed. So because the juice flow control was closed, there was no way for the juice to get in there. It just stayed there. It didn't even turn around, didn't even flood out the coil or anything like that. Maybe I was just lucky, but yeah, that is definitely an issue that you want to make sure that you address. So like I said, when you put this chimney extension on here, and I highly suggest that you use the chimney extension, make sure that this is tightened down slightly. Okay, very easy to do. I don't suggest that you put the arm on it because you can crack the glass. You just want to tighten it down until you could just feel it to stop turning. That's it, no farther. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to put this over here out of the way. Now let's take a look at this deck. This deck is, I'm just going to say it, I'm in love with this deck. Okay, not only do you have two very nice large juice wells here, you also have the airflow here coming up directly underneath the coil. You also have the directed airflow here that comes up from underneath and blows directly at the coil, and that's on both sides. And this here, if you make this right, I'll show you how to do that in a minute or two. This will be the front of your coil here. This is the first wrap, and this one will be the last wrap on your coil. Well, vice versa, however you want to do it. But your entire coil will have airflow being directed at the side of it, as well as getting the airflow coming up here from underneath. Yeah, big time. Unlike on the Kylan, where the airflow just came up and just kind of blew up, and well, some of it would hit the coil, but most of the times all it did was just increase the airflow in there to make it an airy, almost wispy flavoring. This thing here, because these are small air holes, they give you slight resistance on the airflow, but they give you enough airflow that you get clouds with this thing like you don't want to know. And the flavor of this thing is off the bloody charts. Okay, I'm just going to say it right now, right there. This thing is an absolute beast making clouds, and it's also a flavor beast. Okay? Now, the big thing about this is not just the airflow, but the design of how they did the coiling on this thing. Okay? Unlike the other ones that we've seen, the other RTAs and RDAs that we've seen lately, this has a flathead grub screw in here. But this flathead grub screw, when it's tightened down, is all the way down into there. And if you take a look at this very carefully here, this screw is actually shorter than the hole that it goes into. So when you put your coil in there, you can get a good purchase on the screw to make sure that everything is tight and socked down nice and tight. Okay, so we're going to just take this and we're just going to open this up. Now, if you see here, this is a solid hole going straight through here. There is no opening from the outside. And on this one here, on this side, there is an opening, okay? And it'll be easier for me to show you this by just opening up the screw. If I can get this thing lined up, duh. All right, so let's just take this open here. Now, this one here is like a C. It goes like so. So basically, anything can pop in from the sides. This one over here, not. This one here is just a hole. It's an oblong hole that is drilled into the positive terminal here. Okay, so the positive terminal has a hole. The negative terminal has the C side. Now, we're going to get to it in a minute, and I'm going to explain to you why this is important. Yes, this is a single coil tank. Your coil is going to go in this position like so. Okay? However, playing with this tank for the last two and a half weeks, I have found that using an upside down coil, okay? I'm going to have one here that I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Using an upside down coil where the wires come off at the top and the coil is below those flat wires, basically going in like so, is more highly preferable than using a standard coil like this one, where the coil itself is above the two wires like this. Now, to make the upside down coil or the inverted coil, instead of the way you would normally make the coil by, this is a Coil Master, this is the version 4. Most of the times people will put it into the top side. When you're holding it like so, and you have the two wire openings here, you put it into the top side, press this down, and start wrapping it, turning the wrapping tool clockwise, like so. Okay? However, that will give you one of these coils where the coil is sticking up. Now, if you want to go that route, that's fine. But the way I have found that actually works best with this is wrapping what I call a reverse coil, or a counterclockwise or anti-clockwise, if you're on the other side of the pond, type of coil, which would be you take your wrapping tool, put it there like so, and then you would turn it anti-clockwise. Now, the coil that I'm using here is 4 wraps, spaced, 0.50 wire, Kanthal A1, 3 millimeter inside diameter, as you can see here. So that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. Now, I wrap 5 times because I'll show you why in a minute. All right? So you're going to have 5 wraps here. And you want to make sure that you're, like on a K-Fun, your leads are pointing in opposite directions. Okay? So one lead's going this way, one lead is coming out that way. All right? Now, once you have your 5 wraps, you hold this down here, pull out this coil, And you want to make sure that the wire is straight, because when you pull up on it, it's going to deform. Alright, so you lift this up like so, and you flip it over like so, and you want to take a half wrap off that coil. Half wrap, half wrap. Looks like I only did 4 wraps instead of the 5 wraps, but you see what happens. Okay, so now when you put this in here like so, your wires will mate up with the terminals properly, like so, but your coil here will be facing down. And the reason why I do it this way is because I have found using this inverted coil or coil down type of coil, and getting the coil itself as close to that airflow as you can possibly get it, it just works so much better. The flavor goes off the charts. The flavor is good by using a standard coil up type of coil. Yeah, it works great, but this way the flavor, like I said, it just goes off the charts. Okay, so this is the way I would suggest that you do this. Okay, upside down, the bulb part of the coil facing down, the wire here on top. Now, the way you put this in is you put the positive terminal here, has, as I showed you before, it has no opening here on the side. It's just the hole. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to slip this lead here into that hole like so, and you're just going to bend it a little bit, and then you're just going to slide this. Come on, you're not going to do that for me easily, are you? Just put a little bend in there, kind of like a flip up, so that way you can just kind of sort of push that into place. And then you take this lead here and you push it in like so into this opening here, and you want to make sure that that screw is all the way open and that that is all the way into place. Okay, so it certainly is. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take, I suggest that you take this one here that has the opening and sock this one down first, and then take this other one here from the solid side and then sock that down until both sides are fully tightened. And you don't have to worry about tightening down on this thing and putting the arm on it. The more you do, the better it works. Okay, now as you can see here, this thing is pretty much touching the airflow. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to pull up on it slightly. That brings it up a little bit, and then you can adjust the angle here and then make sure that everything is exactly in the center. And just bring that up like that, like so. There we go. And as you can see there, it is directly centered over that airflow. It is nice and tight down to that airflow. It's within like a millimeter of the bottom airflow. And we just have to make sure we get our clippers and clip off the excess here. And I think I left not enough room. There we go. And you just want to clip off the little bit of excess here. And I should have left a little bit more on there, but hey, what can I say? Another one of Joey's duh times. And there goes the other little piece. And you can actually take your nippers and you can actually get your nippers in there to cut that off so close that you never have to worry about a little piece of wire sticking out to make contact with the atomization chamber at all. Okay? Now, let's get out the USA ohm meter. Turn this on. Put this in here like so. And we have a 0.46.47. As I said, this is Canthol A1. So let's just glow this out so we can get rid of the finger oils from when I was handling it. Also, any machining oils that are on there from when they manufactured the wire. Let's just pulse this out. As you can see, because this is a space coil, it fires up perfectly every time. Okay? And let's just bring this back over again, and we're looking at 0.42 ohms. Nice. Okay. Now, as I said before, you most certainly can use a standard coil like this if you so desire to do so, but I think if you try one of these reverse coils or anti-clockwise coils, and then you try one of these clockwise coils, you're going to turn around, you're going to say, Joey, you know what the hell you're talking about? And you're going to start using one of these anti-clockwise coils yourself, because it just makes life so much easier. As you can see, it's just like boom, 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 done. Okay? And because it's spaced, you never have to worry about going crazy with strumming it and all that kind of good stuff. And as you can see here, by using 4 wraps, okay, of Canthol A1 on a 3mm inside diameter, spaced, it goes, last wrap is right here, directly over this airflow. The first wrap here, or the last wrap, whichever the case you decide is going to be, is right over the airflow here. So this basically covers the entire lower airflow. And if you also notice, the little airflow hole here is just blowing right past that there, and this one here is blowing right past the end of that coil, but the rest of them here, these 3 here, are blowing this side, and these other 2 here are blowing onto this side, and the side's covered and the bottom is covered. You can't get more perfect coverage than that. So like I said, this is 4 wraps of 0.5mm or 24 AWG on a 3mm inside diameter, spaced and boinked. Okay? Now, because this is 3mm here, you're going to want to use approximately 2 centimeters of cotton here. Okay? You can use a little bit more if you want and thin it down. I highly suggest 2 centimeters, which roughly is like so. Okay? So we're going to get rid of that. And where's my tweezers? There's my tweezers. Actually, I need the other set of tweezers here. Let's put that juice bottle there. I want this other set of tweezers today. So we want to take and we want to strip off these hard outer shells here on the smoothie cotton pad, like I always do. And we're going to pop this other side here off like so. Bada boom. Then we're going to take and we're going to cut our little arrowheads here for when we twist and pinch and make that nice little sharp point. Now, you also want to pull these apart like this. Okay? You want to thin out that cotton a little bit and get it a little bit more straight and ordered, and makes it a lot easier to actually roll. And with this here, well, you'll see in a second. So we're going to just roll this up like so. And pinch and twist. Pinch and twist. Okay? And that goes right. Nope. Doesn't want to go right through. Pinch and twist like so. Zip. And then we twist this. And you hear that? That's the sound of a nice tight wick inside of that coil, which also will help to prevent a lot of spit back. So we want to take and we want to cut off the excess cotton now. You're going to take it and you're going to cut the cotton with the cutting edge of your shears right against that outer diameter, against the outer airflow ring, and you're just going to cut it and go schnick, like so. And then you're going to spin this around, so that way the inside cutting edge is also against this side here, and you're going to go schnick on that side. Okay? Now, there's a couple of other guys out there who suggest that you sit here and you order this cotton like this and fluff it out like that. You're not fluffing it out. What you're actually doing by doing it like this is thinning out the cotton. That's thinning it out. If you fluff it out, you want to just turn around and just floof out the end of this cotton here like so. Okay, so I'm getting a couple of things, but you see here you have these compressed lines in here that happened when I cut. And all you want to do is just break up that compressed cotton just ever so slightly, and yeah, you're going to lose a couple of little bits of cotton, but all you want to do is just break up that compressed cotton that was caused by this cutting. So you want to get two nice big floofy, fluffed out cotton ends like so. Okay? Now, take your nice pointy tweezers. You want to take your cotton and just want to bring it together like that, very gently, not pushing it together or pinching it or anything like that. You just want to bring it together like that. Take your cotton, take your tweezers, grab the cotton like so, very gently, lift it up, and then hold it like so, and then just gently push the ends of the cotton in here into the juice wells, like so. Now you notice this juice well here extends over a little bit, so you want to make sure that that is filling up that entire juice well. Then you want to just take your tweezers and just make sure that your cotton is pushed down, and that you push this down here like so, like so, like so. And that's it. Okay? And you might just want to bring that up just a little bit, so that way you have this little bit of tininess, a tiny little line here at the bottom where the cotton is just actually touching, ever so slightly touching the bottom of the deck. Okay? Like so. Actually, that's up a little too far there, so we got to bring that down. Okay. That looks good. Then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Get on there, you. Alright, so we're going to put that down like so. And bring this together like so. Take your tweezers. Pinch it ever so gently. Bring it down like this. Put it into place. Take your tweezers and push it into the juice well. Like so. Bring this over. Push it in. Push it down. Like so. Make sure you fill up that juice well completely. And that the cotton is just sitting here and touching the bottom of the deck. You may want to bring it up just a tiny touch, so we have that little line there, like so. Now you'll also notice that this cotton now blocks off any air coming in or escaping past it. Okay? So the air comes up from the bottom, hits the bottom of this coil. The air comes in from the sides here, from those little holes, and like so. Comes into those little holes, slams into the sides of the coil, and then just goes straight up through the chimney. Okay? So I'm going to use some of my black and blue berry vanilla bean gelato here, which is the same stuff I used the last time when I did the Kylan. So we're going to take this, and I'm just going to do exactly the same kind of wicking that I did on the Kylan, and the same kind of juicing here. So you're just going to take and put a little drop of juice here into that well, and watch it while it soaks in. You see how fast that's soaking in? Wow, that's like a sponge. Put that on there like that. And then we're going to take this, and we're just going to paint and soak this cotton like that. We need a little more juice in here on this pipette. And one drop there. Let it soak in. Another drop there. Let it soak in. Then we're going to take this, and we're just going to put the juice right onto that cotton like so. And then we're going to put some juice right here onto that cotton that's inside the coil. Alright, so we're going to pop that on, and we're just going to fire it. Put a little juice in. And we got vapors. Okay, so that's it. Now just take this and screw this on like so. Tighten this down and make sure that the juice flow control is closed. You can see that silver in there. And we just want to take this cap off here. And we just want to fill this up. And as you can see, these juice flow, these juice fill holes are absolutely huge. I can practically get the entire pipette right in there. And this is one of the 120 ml bottles. You can probably get, if you're using something like a ketchup or a mustard bottle, you know, the squeeze bottles, the type of tip that's on those things, you could probably get one of those type of tips in here. Because these things, these things are just fracking huge. Okay, and just fill this up here until it just comes up. I fill it till it just comes up to washing over those little pieces that are in there holding everything together. Then you take your 510 drip tip adapter and you put this on here like so. And where's my drip tip? Yeah, I want to put a little bit of juice on here. Actually, I think I'm going to need a different drip tip because that one's just ever so slightly munged. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to use a yellow drip tip. And we're just going to pop this in here like this. Need to push it down in there a little bit. And I'm just going to open this up like so. And do we have a bubble? Yes, we have a bubble. Do we have a bubble? Yes, we have a bubble. Okay. Now, when I vape this thing with the airflow fully open, like so. Juice flow fully open, just like so. And I'm going to put this on top of my Rulo RX 200S. 45 watts, 4.4 volts, and it's showing 0.43 ohm coil. This was 4 point, what was it? I forget. But it's pretty close. Okay, so yeah, we got vapor. All right, let's head on topside and sit back, talk about this thing for a few minutes, and then we'll let you get out of here. All right, see you topside. Okay, folks, here we are above decks. And you'll have to excuse me. I know I look like hell right now. That's because I'm now recording this at roughly 2:30 in the morning. The reason for that is, one, it's nice and quiet out there. All except for the occasional motorcycle or car going speeding past with their loud mufflers and all that kind of good stuff. Also, my wife has got to go to a dentist appointment tomorrow, so she's not going to be here, and I'll be able to edit this thing, and I won't have any problems. Yeah. So, yeah, I've been up since like 7 o'clock this yesterday morning, Thursday morning. So I'm a little bit more so than normal. Yeah. Ammit 25. This is, as I said, I have this on my rouleau. 45 watts, 4.40 volts at 0.43 ohms. Let's take a vape on this. As you can see, this thing is wicking like a son of a gun. Bubbles coming up like crazy. Now, the occasional delivery truck, what can I tell you? The flavor on this thing is absolutely phenomenal. Okay? Now, I know this juice. This is my all-day vape juice. Okay? I have that in my all-day banger. I have that in my Supreme that's sitting on top of my 8th cigar DNA 75. I know this juice 5 ways from Sunday. This tank, okay, produces flavor with a single coil. Just the way I just got through showing you how to wick it. That matches this Supreme version 2 with its dual coils. Yeah. Single coil matching this dual coil. Now, this is a blackberry, blueberry, vanilla bean gelato juice that I have in here. It is well steeped. Oops. Yeah, good thing. I almost dropped it all over the place. As you can see, this was born on 2nd of July. So this is over a month old now. It is a 80/20 VG, PG, 3 milligrams. Okay? I know this juice. When I made this, I made 3 of these 120 ml bottles at a time, because that is my all-day vape. I even have it. Oh, I don't even have it here. I have a Innikin UCAN that I carry with me to work every day, and that's what I take with me. This juice in here right now, absolutely kick-ass phenomenal. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and go into a whole big spiel about it. The only thing that I find with this thing is that I would love to see that the top of that atomization chamber slightly domed. Okay? Bring the edges here down just a little bit and then dome it out in the center, and this thing would be even more phenomenal. I love this deck for coiling. Okay, as I told you down below decks before, I have done this both with a standard with the coil facing up and one with the coil facing down, like I put in here just now. I prefer to do it with the reverse count on the coil, the reverse twist on the coil, and the coil facing down, because it gets that coil closer to the airflow. It means that more of the coil is being subjected to those side airflows. Okay? And because of the way that thing is designed, those airflows literally shoot out and directly at the coil. It's not like the way the Kylan had, where it just came up and kind of like headed straight for the top and kind of muted it out. Fully open on the airflow here. This thing fully open on the juice flow control, and it's almost, the flavor is so intense on this thing that it's almost like drinking the juice right out of the bottle. I have also done it with my Adores Strawberry Submission DIY concentrate here. Did it 2080, 3 milligrams of nic. Actually, I did it at 15% concentration. This thing is freaking phenomenal in this tank. Likewise, my Quack's Goose Juice, 15% concentrate instead of the suggested 20% concentration. This thing is phenomenal. The thickness, the flavor of the juice is just all consuming in your mouth. I mean, it's literally like drinking the juice out of the bottle. Seriously. If you want a tank that is going to give you some kick-ass clouds at relatively low wattage, single coil, so that way you don't have to go crazy with this thing. Okay, making up dual coils and going through all the trouble of wicking everything else like the Kylan was. This thing is the tank for you. Coiling it, as you saw, dirt simple. Wicking it, dirt simple. Filling it, dirt simple. And, well, hi. Yes, I'm in here. Yes, you can cloud out a room, as you can see, very quickly. The only fan I've got going right now is the exhaust fans over there on the other side of the cabinets, and the fan that I've got blowing on my CPU. Okay? This thing is phenomenal. If you can find one of these things on a sale, I forget how much this thing cost me. I got this on a sale. Was it on sale or pre-order? I think it was a pre-order sale. I think it was a combination of both of them. Get this tank. Okay? Yes, I like this tank so much that I'm going to tell you, get this tank. This tank gets a 2 thumbs up and a street of shout out from yours truly. Seriously, it's that good. That's all I'm going to say. Guys, thanks for joining me. Take care. Have a great evening. And yes, this is relatively nice and short one as opposed to the other one, which was kind of long. Take care. God bless. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. May the Lord hold you in the hollow of his hand. And may you be in heaven a half an hour before the devil knows you're dead. Take care. Bye for now.